Welcome to Everlasting Summer Part, I don't know. I say that every time, but yeah. Let's get started. Slavia said with the voice a level quieter. Okay. Don't be afraid. I'm not. There's nothing to be afraid of. So get in. I didn't know what to say. I know what to say. Spirit, stop it. No. I probably wanted to comply, but with everything happening some other way. Not in such a spontaneous and random manner. And really, why is Slavia so friendly to me? Because she likes you! Or is there something more to it than that? God. Then I really don't get it. It's up to you, she said disappointedly. Light the fire then. What for? Because when I'll get out, I'll need a way to dry myself. Oh, yes, fine. I quickly went back to the sleeping bag, picking up branches on my way. Collecting firewood wasn't a problem at all, but how do I light the fire? I had neither a matchbox nor a lighter. Like every educated person, I knew that it's possible to do it by rubbing one stick against the other, but I've never done this before. Well, I had no other ideas. I started to drill one stick into another slowly. I was lucky that the sticks were dry enough, because otherwise I'd have no chance at all. Actually, I was quite scared. Did you really turn down skinny dipping with the girl you like for starting a fire? For real? No, Spirit. But after just about a minute of smoke appeared. After just about a minute, smoke appeared, and a faint fire flared up, dying out a moment later. At least it was clear that I could handle this way of starting a fire. It took me another 20 minutes of suffering, but in the end, I had a small fire burning next to the sleeping bag. I was throwing more sticks into it lazily. This is how it turns out. Man can adapt to anything, so I could probably even survive in a snowy forest. My survivalist thoughts were interrupted by Slavia, who suddenly appeared right above me. Wow, you're good. I lifted my gaze and quickly turned away. She was wearing a shirt, but thanks to its dampness, it wasn't hiding much. It wasn't a problem in the lake, but it's quite different when she's so close. One wouldn't get lost with you. Slavia sat with her back against mine. I hope it will dry off quickly. Somehow, I was hoping so too. So what? What? I asked with a muddled voice. Tell me something else. I don't know, really. Felt like something was stuck in my throat. Storytelling was definitely out of the question. You've gotten so stiff suddenly. Ladies. Really, why would I? It's nothing, just... I had a feeling that I won't be able to sit like that any longer. Animal instincts were clouding my mind. Oh. You think this is normal? What? Sitting like this? What's wrong with it? Seems like Slavia really didn't understand. Well, what is wrong with it? Get off my computer. No. Sorry. My cat was climbing on my computer, which she's not allowed to do. In my mind. In her mind, she's allowed to do whatever the hell she wants. She's a cat. Seems like Slavia really didn't understand. Well, you are... Do you really not get it? I sighed helplessly. I don't get it. Well, not really sure. Her voice sounded cunning. What do you think? Well, maybe we should... Whoa. Maybe we shouldn't hold back. Her words flashed through my head. She's giving her consent. Is this what they mean by hold back? Yep. I thought this happened with me and Elisa on the 7th day, didn't it? Or was it the 6th day and the 7th day was the ending? Maybe. Something wonderful happened between us. Something that I couldn't even dream of 6 days ago. Maybe here it is, the reason for me being in this camp. To have sex with all the girls. That was amazing. Yeah. For a while we just lay close to each other. It's getting chilly. Hang on. I unfolded the sleeping bag and we got inside together. Slavia rested her head on my shoulder. Mind if I take a quick nap? I just feel so tired. Sure, go ahead. Soon her breathing became deep and steady. Now I've seduced the camp thing assistant. Yeah. The wind quietly rustled the leaves on the trees around us. The grass was swaying next to us, and tiny bugs buzzed annoyingly overhead. Suddenly I realized this was the best place I've ever seen in my life. Thinking that, I fell asleep. ... More dots. More dots? No. I opened my eyes and saw the top of an oak roaring above. A strong wind had risen, chilling me to the bone. The full moon was staring right at me. Night has fallen. I couldn't really tell what time it is, but it didn't matter much. Slavia was still asleep. I tucked the sleeping bag around her cozily, got dressed, and headed to the lake. Won't skinny dip with her, but you'll fuck her. Logic. I was really thirsty, and there weren't any other options available. Besides, I don't think the water here is poisonous. Yeah, but stagnant water that people swim in? We're not around Chernobyl or anything. You don't know that! At least I want to believe that. What if the town is Pripyat? You know? I scooped up some water and eagerly dipped my face into my hands. The water tasted so good that it felt like it came from a spring, not a lake. My reflection stared at me, blurred in the water, and touched by the moonlight. It seemed to be smiling. Weird, I didn't even notice. Don't you just hate it when your reflection doesn't match your face? Hashtag relatable. Overjoyed, I headed back, fully intending to sleep till morning. And a twig snapped nearby. I turned to see what made the noise, and saw someone behind a tree. Who's there? I called out, worried. There's no need to scream like that. Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting Lena. I came closer and saw Lena. What are you doing here? Taking a walk. At this time? Why? What? I can't? No, it's just strange. By the way, there's a naked Elisa, not Elisa, Slavia over there. I leaned against a tree and pondered. Good thing I got dressed before I went to the lake. She's definitely here for a reason. Besides, we barely made it here. You can't reach this lake on a walk. And even at night, Slavia sleeping a dozen steps away was in clear view. And? What? Were you gonna say something? Say anything? Am I supposed to? It's up to you. I don't get what you're saying. Okay. Been here for a while? Well, not that long. How long is that? Not long. Lena snapped. Alright. Is that all? I don't know. We stood silently a while longer. You should probably get back. Slavia will get cold. So you saw. It was hard not to see. That face, man, that's creepy. If you think that. Well, what am I supposed to think, huh? Seems clear as day. I guess. So you're not gonna say anything. What is there to say? After your show at the square today, words don't seem to be needed. There was no show. It's like I'm justifying myself to her. It's none of your business anyway. Exactly. It's your business. Just be careful. Watch out. What are you talking about? If everything comes to you so easily, you probably won't value it much. Though, you should. I don't get it. Well, like Slavia. Bam, this time it's magical. And then you do it another time, and another, and then you get tired of it. Is this supposed to be some metaphor for what I'm doing now and going through all the routes because I got perfect with Slavia? What if I didn't get perfect with Slavia if this would have happened? If so, that's some good coding. Maybe. Lena paused. That's what I'm saying. You need to cherish what you have, even if you don't put much effort into getting it. If you think I'm treating this like a game, you're totally wrong. I don't think that. But it's possible. Besides, how about staying out of things that are none of your business? I'm just giving you advice. I don't remember asking for it. I think you should pay more attention to what you're doing and planning to do, so you don't feel any torturing regrets later on. Whoa, that face! I didn't look at her face. Look, this is starting to sound like a threat. Huh, it really is. Well, maybe so. Bet you're next. Lena said mysteriously. So you... No, not at all. Not now, to be precise, she added in a whisper. Lena turned and headed into the depths of the forest. I didn't stop her. That was so out of Lena's character, that's the thing. Honestly, I think they should have done Elisa for that, if it was supposed to be the metaphor thing. Because that was not Lena. When she was almost gone from sight, I noticed something in her hand, blinking in the moonlight. What a strange girl. I sighed and returned to Slavia. The warmth of her body kept me from the cold at night. I hope I was keeping Slavia warm as well. Next day? Or nothing. There we go. Day 7 with Slavia. I woke up with the first rays of the sun because of the cold. The sun doesn't exist because it's cold at night. What? Oh, maybe from rapid cooling to heating? Obviously, the sleeping bag was warm, and it hadn't had enough time to be covered with hoarfrost. But still, it was a novelty for me to spend the night in a forest. Carefully, in order to avoid waking Slavia up, I got out of the bag. The fresh morning air finally dispelled my drowsiness, and the serenity of last night swept over me. I guess it was the happiest moment of my life. Intimacy, tenderness, love, passion, all those emotions interlinked in me during those short hours. I looked at Slavia, and she was beautiful. Her face was set in a motionless expression of absolute tranquility and peacefulness. I guess that's how angels sleep. As I had no wish to wake her up, I just sat down by her side and observed the way the morning began. Nature. The fresh dew, light wind, dancing tree leaves, and patches of sunlight on the water used to be alien to me yesterday. The concrete jungles of a huge city were the only forests I had known before. And if someone had told me that I could just sit and enjoy things like that, despite the cool and annoying mosquitoes, without computer or internet, I definitely wouldn't have believed them. Good morning. I looked at Slavia. Morning. Did you sleep well? Better than ever. Me too. She reached out and kissed me. Oh. The kiss seemed everlasting. Roll credits. And I just dissolved in her. Having breakfast would be great. Slavia finally spoke, letting go of me. Yeah, I guess so. You know what time it is now? No, but I think it's still early. I hope the canteen is already open. I'm so hungry. Me too. We got our things and walked to the camp, holding hands. The canteen was indeed open, and strangely, we were its first visitors. It wasn't a surprise that breakfast wasn't all that luxurious. Oatmeal, 2 eggs, dry bread, and watery tea. No, I never liked the local food. Me neither, to tell you the truth. Slavia laughed. But there is no choice. It is quite good on an empty stomach. That's right. Those plates are so that plate sound is so clear. I thought there was someone in the kitchen. Unlike me, she was eating carefully. And I was dropping porridge on my shirt and spilling tea over myself as usual. This is usual? Do you always eat like this? Anything wrong with that? I asked with a full mouth. She just laughed. Oh, no, not always, but it happens when I'm really hungry. Of course, I can be more civilized. Well, I can try, at least. No worries, it's nothing. Soon we finished breakfast and went to the exit. Uh-oh. No sooner had I noticed that we were still the only people in the canteen than Olga appeared on the threshold. Oh, it's you. Well, I won't ask where you spent the night. In Slavia. So is it? The camp leader was so is it? So what was the so is it for? The camp leader was obviously embarrassed. Good morning to you too, Olga. Slavia said with a bright smile. Yes, morning, morning. She's just jealous. Okay, just don't forget to pack your things. We won't. What does she mean? Some hike again? I asked Slavia when we left the canteen. No. Today's the last day. Have you forgotten? The last day of what? Last day of the term. To say her words struck me dumb was an understatement. How? Why? Why so surprised? Didn't you know? It was announced during the lineup. But even at those lineups which I attended, I was just sleeping on my feet. No. Now you know. Slavia smiled naturally. And what should I do? Her words stirred a mass of emotions inside of me. On one hand, I'll get out of this cursed camp at last. I might get some answers. On the other, I've just found something very important to me, and now I have to let it go? What do you mean? Oh, nothing. And when is the departure? In the evening, at 5 or 6 o'clock. Well, still a lot of time. Yes, but I have some things to do. And I should find Xenia. She might be worried, since I was absent for the whole night. Oh, well, worrying is so much like her. See you at lunch. Slavia gave me a kiss on the cheek and ran away. I kept standing at the canteen's entrance. I had absolutely nothing to do, nothing to pack, so the only thing to do was wander around the camp till evening and think. I would give anything to be able to empty my head for this 10 hours. 10 hours. 5. So it's like 7 a.m. 7 or 8 a.m., yeah. A voice pulled me out of my trance. That makes sense. That's the breakfast time, yeah. Hello. Electronic stood before me, as merry as usual. You too, I replied absent-minded. You know, the whole camp's talking about you. I guess I know why. So you did it already? He asked, giggling. Do you really think that concerns you? Well, no, I just... And keep quiet. Leaving him alone with his speculations, I walked to the square. No, there's no speculations. With that reply, that's a definite yes. Yes, but don't want to talk about it. Why does he behave in a way that drives everyone mad? Although, it's probably just me he maddens. I was completely immersed in my thoughts, not looking around, and didn't notice Miku until she bumped into me. Oh, sorry. I should be more careful. I was lost in thought and didn't notice you. You know, that happens. Oh, and hi. I looked through her and kept walking. I found out something after doing a bit of research. Miku is a fucking thing. Like, an actual thing. That's in the real world and extremely popular like in Japan and shit, and Korea. I don't know about Korea, but at least in Japan and shit. I didn't know that. Okay, I'm done. Oh, Semyon, wait a second. What's up with Slavia? Tell me, it's so interesting. Seems that everyone on the whole camp except me knows about it. No, not that I'm curious, but since everyone else is also serious. Why so? No. Saying that she's not curious is like denying a universal truth. Nothing special, I answered without turning back. Well, if you don't want to... I tried to isolate myself from the outside irritations, so Miku's other words passed by. The square scenery was soon replaced by the beach. Luckily, the juvenile gem of the Soviet pop scene wasn't around. Elisa? I took a place on the sand and started gazing at the river. Why on earth is the whole camp so interested in my relationship with Slavia? Two pioneers, two campers, left for the whole night together, clearly together. Of course you're going to be talking about that when you're 16, 17, 18 years old. Rumors, man. In my world, nobody would have said a word. Because in your world, people are 20, 30, 40, 50. They don't care about your life. When you're a teenager, you tend to be curious about your peers. At least not out loud. At least you don't hear the things they say behind your back. For now, I was ready to endure gossip, just as long as I don't have to report it to everyone about my private life. The sun was rising higher and higher, and I was nodding off. Bad place to sleep, dude. My eyes were already closed when I suddenly heard someone sitting down next to me. Is it just me or does she seem tanned? Since the last time I saw her. It was Elisa. Congratulations. Meaning? Don't you know? Don't you know? You had sex with Slavia. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, it doesn't take an Einstein to work it out. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of this. Everyone here just has to mention it. Enough. And what did you expect? Exactly. Is that out of the ordinary for the camp? I would even say it's exceptional. She laughed. And to show up the camp leader just like that, even Lena couldn't manage it. Me neither, probably. I didn't know how to respond to that, or whether it was a compliment or mockery. You know, you're making too big a deal out of it. There was nothing unusual for me. Moreover, I don't understand why you have to poke your nose into my life. Don't you think it's just my personal business and nobody else's? Maybe so. Maybe so. Elisa said mysteriously. We sat silently for a while. I wanted her to leave as soon as possible, but Elisa was watching the pioneers on the beach, and it didn't seem... I want to be alone goes to a place where a bunch of people are at. And it didn't seem that she was planning to go anywhere. So, what are you going to do next? Do it again. What are you talking about? Today's the last day. Yeah, so what? Everyone will leave. Her voice is different, I'm noticing. This is what happens when I don't have to do their voice for a while. I just lose it. So, and Slavia will leave too. And you will leave too. So, you'll break up. I know that already. Thank you. Obviously. And what do you think about that? What should I think? I can't stay here forever. Of course you can't. But what will you let... But what, will you let her go just like that? No. I mean, what can I do? Give her your cell phone number. Tell her to text you in 20 years. When that's a thing. Frankly speaking, I really had no idea what to do next. My head was a complete mess. I'll be able to get out of here. I'll be able to get out of here. That was the most important thing for me during last week. And now I have to answer a much more difficult question. How did summer romances end for common Soviet teenagers? And my romance was a summer one, for sure. They just went home and that was it? No, usually you keep in contact. I'm going by... I'm not going by Soviet teenagers, I'm going by my teenage experience. You just give them your number. Fuck, when I was a kid it was your email, or MSN. Oh, that's how you know how old I am. They could live thousands of kilometers away from each other. In my case, in different worlds. It's not like one can come up with a decent solution for such a problem in a couple of hours. Like I know, it's up for you to decide. Elisa grinned, stood up, and ran to the river. There was only about half an hour till lunch, so I slowly walked to the canteen. Pioneers hadn't managed to occupy all the free tables, so I was able to choose quite a good place, but, to my regret, not my favorite one in the corner. I was just about to start eating when someone abruptly pulled out a chair at the table near me and took a seat. Hi there, how are you? Here we go. It was Ilyana. An extraordinary polite version of her. Oh yeah. I was fine until now. I sneered. Oh come on, better tell me, what are you gonna do? Eat. I sighed. I'm not talking about that. The session's over. You and Slavia are gonna part. What's next? It's like my future is the priority issue for all the local residents. Hey, what really is the matter? Just curious. Curious about what? I don't ask you what you're going to do tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or in a month. Why do you have to get into someone else's life? I'm not getting into anything, Lena said, offended. I'm not really good at all that stuff. Sure enough, you're still a kid. So you gotta explain, since you're the adult here. There's something about the intro. Every time you start up this game, it gives you a little intro. I'll flash it on the screen for a second here that says, that all people that presumably have relations with and whatnot are over the age of 18 and consenting. But Lena here is clearly 14-ish. This will be an interesting route when we go down it. What should I explain? So you're gonna stay in touch through letters, right? And then you're gonna go to this camp next summer together. Talking through letters. Sounds so wild to me. Yeah, we'll be pen pals. And I don't mean the idea of paper sheets and envelopes. I mean the possibility of losing Slavia for a year, or probably even longer. Or forever. So what? May I join you? I raised my eyes and saw Slavia standing near me with a food tray. Okay, it's time to go. Lena jumped and dashed off to a far corner of the canteen. What were you talking about? You know her. What could we possibly be talking about? Slavia smiled. Took care of your business? Yeah, now I'm completely free. I can help you pack your stuff. I got like 3 things. And a cell phone, I think I'm good. It's not like I've got much to pack. Well, then you can help me with my stuff. Whoa, my voice just lost it there. What? With my stuff? My stuff? Oh my god, I can't say that in her voice. Sure. I don't know why her voice is going high-pitched at the my, but yeah. That was the perfect opportunity for a quiet talk with her. That's not all you'll be doing with it. Although I had not a slightest idea of what I should talk about. Soon enough, we finished our meal and headed to Slavia's cabin. Slavia's cabin. Oh fuck! You can't do letters because you don't know where you live. Everything in it was clean and neat, unlike in Olga's cabin. Yeah, I was gonna say you called this neat, but yeah, it's actually kind of neat. What is this? That's probably a reference to something I'm not getting. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure what I should start with. I thought she said she was done packing. Oh no, she said she was done with her business. That doesn't mean done packing though. She took out her travel bag and started to rummage through a cabinet. Meanwhile, I sat on the bed and started to gather my thoughts. Do you have any plans for after the camp? What are you going to do? Well, you know. She raised her eyes to mine and gave me a smile. I'll go back to school. Oh, yeah. And you? What about me? It's not like I'm really considering going to high school for a second time. Me? Well, me too, I guess. Though, I don't really feel like going back to my city. Seriously speaking, even I felt like going back. I had nowhere to go anyway. Why? Just because. Because there's nothing to do there. Nothing at all. There's no one waiting for me there. But your parents. My parents. Well, you know, they're not there now. Well, that sounds worse than it is. But where are they then? They're sort of working abroad. Oh, so you're one lucky guy. She smiled merrily. At least it went from dark to not so dark. Why? They send you foreign stuff and all. I wouldn't call my situation lucky as such. Well, anyway. Don't be upset. She really looks like she doesn't understand what I'm saying. I'm not upset about it. And it was true. Then what's up? many things. For example? Well, for example, I was about to begin a vast outburst about my situation and my wish not to have to part with Savia, but when the door was flung open with a bang and Xenia entered. Ah, there you are. Yes, we're packing. But this is all the time we have for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.